It's time to get social. Look at us step all over Paul.
Hey, boys and girls, it's time to get social with Fun Katie.
That's me.
Brought to you by Sanderson Ford.
Every time Doug Franz steps on the Sanderson Ford read, this is as packed house as it gets. It shows you the power of Lon Babby. Spade, Travis, and Scott and Farmer Rod are all in the control room. AP is staring me down with a flip cam. Whizboy is taking notes, and he's got a camera, a regular 35 millimeter. Then, of course, we've got Wolf, who dressed up for the occasion in his West Virginia T-shirt and cat hat. Fun Katie is here, and now we get to introduce Lon Babby, president of the basketball operation at the Suns. Good morning, Lon. Welcome to our circus.
Good morning. This is very, very exciting.
I can tell. This is probably a high moment of the day with all these people and the attention you're getting.
First time in Studio Shangri-La here, Lon?
Yeah, pictures being taken. This is unbelievable.
Well, you've reached the pinnacle now. I mean, you wasted your time defending John Hinckley, you told us. You bored yourself in years in NFL work with Washington Redskins, been a longtime player agent, but now, what else is there when AP sticks a flip cam in your face?
Nah, this is bigger than big, huger than huge. No doubt about it.
Well, the first part of the conversation, Fun Katie has fan questions for you when we get social with her. And then coming up in just a second, Wolf will grill you and rake you over the coals like he does as a media member. Fun Katie, what's question number one for Lon?
I'll try to ask the nice ones, but we got too many texts and tweets not to start with this question. Brian wants to know, are the Suns trading Steve Nash?
Oh, we didn't even have to ask today, Lon.
Wow.
I hadn't thought about that, actually. No, we're not trading Steve Nash. I've said it 100 times. I'm happy to say it 101 times, 200 times. I'll be happy when next Thursday comes. That's the trade deadline, and then maybe I'll get a little rest on that question. So, no, we're not trading Steve Nash.
Boy, I didn't take
That's definitive right there.
Ricardo tweets, are there any other trades on the horizon this season?
No, we're not trading Steve Nash.
Go forward.
If I had to predict, I would say we probably won't do anything between now and next week, but that's not to say that we're not doing our due diligence and answering our phones and speaking to as many teams around the league as we can. I think that's our job. What's been interesting about it is how long it's taken this trade to settle, the one that we made, in December, mid-December. And I'd say it took us a month to sort of get our bearings. And I think you have to, we're in a playoff chase now. I think we're playing well. And for us to disrupt the team again, we'd really have to find something that we thought was really good.
So then when you're answering the phone calls, what kind of calls are you guys making? Are you actively making calls, or do you just kind of sit and listen?
Right now we're pretty much the receiving team, not the kicking team, and that's a football reference, by the way.
Because otherwise I would not be able to understand.
Thank
right,
you.
Lon?
Yeah, well, I see over there. I just want to make sure you're with me. We're not on the prowl to be the initiator, but we certainly take calls and listening, and that's a little bit of a misnomer because it's a constant dialogue with everybody. People come into town and with their team, or we go on the road and you're seeing people, and it's a constant chatter and a constant dialogue.
We have these questions that people are text tweeting and posting into Lon Babby, president of the Phoenix Suns, and out of all of them, we get this one from Wes, who emails me. And this has been a while since somebody emailed during Getting Social.
Yeah.
Says, Doug, I know that you've got Lon on, but I have to know, I heard you make a reference to the cat hat. Where was it? I thought Wolf lost the cat hat.
I did, as a matter of fact, but ladies and gentlemen, Savannah Shea had buried it under her stuffed animals.
Oh, I see.
In her stuffed animal basket. A very odd question right now as we're talking to Lon.
I know, but I wanted to get that out. Yeah, there you go. Fun Katie, what's next?
Chris on Facebook asks, what's your take on building through free agency versus building through the draft?
We've done a little study of that, and what I think we have found is that historically the Suns have built through free agency and trades and have not used the draft very extensively. And I think we have to have a balance. If there are a number of different ways for us to improve our team, whether it's the draft, through trades, through free agency, we have to have a little bit more balance in that. And we have 2 draft choices in this upcoming draft, and we're excited about that. And on the other hand, we will be active in free agency, whether it's this summer or next summer. At some point, we're going to have to do that and prepare ourselves for that. And it's a fantastic place to try to sell Phoenix and our franchise, and it should be a destination point for many players.
Since you are 85 to 87 times smarter than I am, I know I cannot trap you, so I'm not even trying to. But hearing that answer, during the vacuum between Steve Kerr and you and Lance Blanks taking over the Suns, there was different comments being made. Robert Sarver came out and said, we spend all this money flying around looking at all this talent elsewhere in the world when we've got people right here that are free agents. Let's focus on free agency. And now you kind of switched it a little bit to balance. Is that something that's now the position of the Suns? Did anything change? Or because I'm so on board with you, but I wanted to give you the chance to talk about anything that might have changed, or is this exactly what you guys wanted as soon as you took over?
If Robert Sarver said that, I agree with him. No, I think all I'm saying is that we need to have balance. I think you have to use all the tools available to you. Our guys are out spending a lot of time doing preparation for the draft. I think you have to do that. You have to prepare for free agency. I think what Robert was saying was that maybe there was an imbalance between our scouting, our pro scouting, and our college scouting, and we have really spent a lot of time increasing the effort on the pro front, and have now put a grading system in place, and we've graded every player in the NBA and spent a lot of time talking about that. So we're doing both. I just think you have to have balance.
Good.
Lon, one of the reasons why you were brought in here, of course, was to do what some others could not and work with the Suns' payroll. So moving forward, fiscally speaking, how do the Suns look?
Well, we look a lot better after the trade that we made. I think there's a misnomer here about in this industry about kind of a willingness to spend. I don't think there's ever been an issue in Phoenix about willingness to spend. This franchise has paid the luxury tax for many years. We're finally under the luxury tax now, which is where we should be. It's really about taking advantage of the system, whatever the rules may be. And we have positioned ourselves, I think, well, particularly in 2012, to have flexibility under whatever the new rules are going to be under the new collective bargaining agreement. So I think we're in good shape. I think what we want to do is we want to do the impossible, but we're going to try hard to do it, and that's remain competitive for the immediate future and without ever taking a major step back, but prepare for the future as well.
Fun, Katie, I know you have 500 meetings. Do you have time to stay?
Yeah, I can hang out. Okay,
because Wolf and I get rolling on questions, and we didn't let listeners ask enough. So still, completely keep flooding the. I almost said tweet deck instead of Twitter because I'm a tweet deck guy. But use Twitter. You can also post on our Facebook page. Keep your questions rolling for President of Basketball Operations Lon Babby, and Fun Katie will ask your questions. Wolf and I still have more of our own. It's Newsmakers Week 2011. It's the Suns' turn with Doug and Wolf on Sports 620 KTAR.
Doug and Wolf. Things you need to know.
I've always wondered about that. Don't get me sidetracked, Doug.
Brought to you by Gateway Chevrolet.
One of the interesting things you need to know about Newsmakers Week is how different people come together. They see each other in a lot of different circumstances, but in the middle of a not-so-beautiful part of the program, Lon Babby in a long conversation with Kevin Towers. From your player agent days, had you ever had any negotiations with Kevin Towers?
I did. I represented Chris Young, who's now pitching for the Mets, who pitched in San Diego with the Padres, and I negotiated a deal with Kevin. And we're still talking, so that's good.
The connection is everywhere. The NFL labor situation. We're now throwing you into things you need to know, so you get to join us on everything. The franchise tags, the arguments going back and forth. What can we believe as fans with you as a guy that's somewhat really knowledgeable about collective bargaining? What is everything that they tell us as media and fans posturing every single piece?
Probably.
Yeah?
I just think it's a process. And, there's no real good way to accelerate the process. I've tried on any number of occasions, in doing a negotiation to try to short-circuit it and sort of get to the bottom line, and it almost never works. You really have to have the give and take, have the process, have the discussions for political reasons sometimes, or just to really be able to understand and work through what the issues are. So it's just a process, And a lot of what's reported about the process is posturing.
So having said that right now,
Yes,
Lon, what do you think is more dire? What situation is more dire? The NBA CBA
Oh, boy.
or the NFL CBA?
I have no idea. Honestly, I have no, because I don't know. I'm posturing because I don't know, and I think the NFL is up to bat right now. We'll see what they do, and I know we have challenges ahead of us, and but I also know there are really smart people on both sides, and I probably know that better than anybody else since I've been on both sides, and there's goodwill, and I'm confident sooner or later things will get done.
And the last thing you need to know this morning is that the Suns were a winner 102-101 last night. Channing Frye, unbelievable. 31 points, 11 boards, as he has a career high. And then to make up for missing a free throw at the end of the game that gave Utah an opportunity, rips down if you can call it this, a walk-off rebound almost, a game-winning rebound at the end of the game that ended up putting Steve Nash on the free throw line. So, yeah, they hit their free throws, and Utah hit a desperation 3 when they were down by 4. But it was a huge game and a huge win for the Phoenix Suns, and that means Lon Babby gets the incredible, embarrassing moment where he gets to actually watch for the first time the Suns dance. It's time to go into the Suns front office.
Really?
This is Inside the Front Office with the president of Suns basketball operations, Lon Babby.
Nash left side, fade away from 18. Yes, indeed.
Brought to you by Kia Motors, proud partner of the Phoenix Suns. The home of Phoenix Suns basketball. Sports 620 KTAR.
Fun, Katie, why did I get that look? I've never seen that look on your face before.
Because I've never seen that dance before.
You've never seen the dance?
No.
Oh, we jack up the energy when we get to go into the Suns front office.
I think Lon actually blushed on this.
He was nervous for me.
I think so.
Just a little
I think
weird.
he was blushing.
Well, don't worry. I've never done it on the Suns court. Okay, Fun Katie is still here for Getting Social because basically Wolf and I hijacked your time and we did a lot of the questions. So what's the next question that people text, tweeted, or posted into Lon Babby?
Kyle tweets, what's been your biggest challenge since starting with the Suns?
Better than our questions.
That's a great question. I think the biggest challenge for me is keeping myself on an even keel. You know, when you're a player agent, you're not really a fan. You're more worried about the amount of time your client is getting, how he's playing, how many points he's getting, how many shots he's getting, being prepared to answer all those questions when he calls you afterwards to complain. In this job, you're building something, and that's what makes it really gratifying. But it's also you are a fan, and living and dying with every victory and every loss. I've said this before. When we win, I think we're never going to lose again. When we lose, I think we're never going to win again. And you can't do a good job if you don't stay on an even keel and remove some of that emotion. That's been challenging.
Lon, I've got some numbers for you here. You're a numbers guy. You'll appreciate this. 27 and 26 now, above 500. Finally above 500. 13 and 6 in your last 19 games. And more importantly, here it comes. Since the circle of power.
Right.
Since the circle of power in your last 9 games, you guys are 7 and 2. Now, Lon, for the record, I'm going to tell you right now that if I were in the circle of power and I was a veteran, I would have 2 thoughts. Number 1, I can't believe we're doing this. And number 2 would be, wow, this must be really serious. This is serious, man. Why do you think you guys have been successful? And do you think the circle of power had anything to do with it?
Well, the most important person in the circle of power was Robert Sarver. So we all took the circle of power seriously. I'm sure that there was some reaction along the lines you're talking about. But once the process started, I think we're all kind of rolling our eyes a little bit, kind of wondering where this was headed. And the great thing about Robert is he's willing to think outside the box. And he just sat us down. I didn't know what we were doing. I don't think Alvin knew what we were doing. But once we started, and the way it worked is you had to say something positive about the person to your left, and then you had to also talk about how you yourself could help the team. And as we ran around the circle, it was interesting because I've said this before. Every player said about themselves what we would have told them about what we were hoping they could do differently or do better. So I think the circle of power was maybe a defining moment. But of course, I'm sitting here right now, and I'm getting the sense this is the circle of power right here.
This
I'm in the circle of power right now.
Well, then we won't ask you to say something nice about the person on your left because it's AP with the camera.
Right,
you know,
right.
and
Yeah, that's a little odd.
Yeah, you can't
the
say
interesting
that.
thing for me was that I sat down and didn't know that what we were doing, and of course to my left was Robert, so I had to say. So I had to come up.
that's good.
I had to come up with something good.
Now, did anyone actually enter the circle? Was there anyone in the center of the circle? That was not.
No, it's
the way
not
it
like the
was.
warm-up dance where Petrus comes in and dances.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No. This was a pure, pristine circle of power.
Because the reason why I asked that, Lon, I know you are a genius, if you will, for lack of a better way of saying it.
Boy, am I glad we won last
Let
night.
me just say this. The Navajo people consider the circle sacred.
Right.
And whatever is inside that circle.
Right.
So I was wondering if, in fact, you had to step to the center of the circle. You're denying that.
I'm denying it, and it was a very we're very respectful of all of our fans, regardless of their cultural or ethnic background. So I'm not going any further with that.
This texter asks, on the court, do you think there is still a missing piece with the Suns?
Oh, for sure. I mean, we're 27 and 26. If we were perfect, we wouldn't be 27 and 26. I mean, we know that we need to continue to get better on the interior. We could use a low post presence as a scorer to complement the great work Channing's doing as what you would call a stretch four and opening up and spacing the floor. And we need other things. It's always a work in progress. I'm sure every team in the league thinks they need things, and for sure we have deficiencies.
What's next, Fun Katie?
Gray tweets, are you okay with the Suns making the playoffs as an 8 seed, knowing they will probably lose in the first round?
Oh, there's a beatdown.
I appreciate the optimism.
Wow.
I'm excited if we make the playoffs, and I think we have a group actually that if we do make the playoffs, we'll we've got veteran leadership, and I could see us getting on a run, and we're playing better. I mean, the goal always from the beginning is to be playing your best at playoff time, and as we get into the spring, I think we're going to be playing at a high level. I just hope we haven't taken too long to get started.
When you look ahead to the playoffs, we need to get a statement from you about this, because the head coach of the Pacers just came out and said after losing to the Miami Heat, well, when we get into the playoffs, the Celtics and the Heat, we're the team that nobody wants to face because we're going to take them on. Right. So do you have any challenges for the Spurs or Lakers that you'd like to issue as an acknowledgement of the Pacers?
No.
Okay.
No, I'll just be happy to be there, and then I think people will respect us because of what we did last year and the talent level that we have, and I do think we're playing really well.
Go for it, Fun Katie.
Ryan posts, is today the last day to renew season tickets at the discounted price?
Now you're talking.
Oh, wow.
I was afraid I wouldn't have a chance to discuss this very important issue. We saw Wolf there last night giving out $10,000.
Yeah, how did he do?
He was fantastic. It was a thrilling game, but the $10,000 process was even more exciting.
Yes, it was.
It was tense. It was very exciting.
Beautiful.
I think you have one more day to renew it to be eligible for that. And listen, I was watching the game last night, and I'm thinking to myself, this is a pretty entertaining product that we put on the floor tonight. And, of course, I wasn't enjoying it. I was a nervous wreck, but the fans seem to be having a wonderful time. And I think, the team is coming together and is exciting, and the fan support has been terrific. So we hope all of our existing season ticket holders will renew and get the benefits of doing that. I think there are, parking incentives and other incentives to do it by tomorrow, and one last chance to get $10,000, which isn't bad.
Well, it's an important game Thursday night because Fun Katie's from Dallas, and we don't want to deal with her around the office.
Right.
So please give Fun Katie a beat down by beating the Mavericks. The last question is the same one everybody gets. This is now, you gave us your time, so take the megaphone. What do you want the Suns fans to know about the Phoenix Suns right now?
I think what I want the fans to know is that we are working hard every day to get better. I think we're making progress. I think we have a terrific group of personalities and people filled with the highest level of integrity. I think we represent the community well. And I don't ask for anything other than the continued support and to express my gratitude for the welcome I've had to this town and to the support we've had. And I ask that we continue to get that support. And I love everybody's passion and emotion. And I accept that when we fail, that we're going to be criticized, and it's going to be joyous when we win. And that's what it's all about.
So, Lon, there you are within the circle of power.
No.
And again, Robert Sarver is standing on your left. What did you say about Robert?
What is said in the circle of power stays in the circle of power. I will tell you what I said, actually, because I think it's fair. I said, that Robert is what you want in an owner is someone who's really smart, and he is really, really smart. And I think you want someone who's passionate about winning, and he's very, very passionate about winning. And if you have those two things in an owner, that's really all you could ask for. And everybody around the circle of power nodded, so they were all in agreement.
I would have nodded as well.
I can't wait till I own something, so everybody nods like that. Thank you, Lon, for your time and coming in today.
My pleasure, guys.
Go get a bagel. Go get a bagel. We got breakfast for you.
Thanks.
Lon Babby, President of Basketball Operations for the Phoenix Suns, joining Duncan Wolf this morning for Newsmakers Week.